Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. I hope my audio and video is clear. Please let me know in the comment section before we begin. Good morning, Akanksha, Bhakti, Surekha. A very good morning to all of you. I'm here with the live mint analysis that we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Right. We take up the important news articles from the newspaper. We discuss them in detail, try to do a few MCQs also. Right. Okay, all good. Fine. Before I begin, let us see today is 30th January. Today is 30th January, and today we observe Martyrs Day, which is also known as Shahidi Divas. Okay, before I begin, I wanted to, just, talk with you all related to this day that we observe today, Shahidi Divas. This is in honor of all those freedom fighters who fought for us, right? All those freedom fighters who fought for us, all the victims who fought for the freedom. We want to pay homage and we pay that on 30th January. This is basically the death anniversary of our father of the nation, which is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He was assassinated on 30th January 1948 by Nathuram Godse, right? And on this day, we basically pay homage to the victims of the freedom struggle who fought for our freedom, right? And we have to also, why I'm talking about this right now is that we have to imbibe by the values that Mahatma Gandhi ji have taught us through his freedom struggle about non-violence, about take solving things with maturity and not creating a lot of violence, right? So that is what I wanted to start the day with. We all should know every day what do we celebrate or what do we observe. All these things we should be knowing. Good morning, True Expanse. All right. So before I begin, if you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Oliveboard app. Just go to the courses section. There's going to be a separate YouTube class PDFs folder. You can download the PDF from here. All those who are new here, I'm also sharing my Telegram handle. Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. Just type Mannat Educator. You will have access to my account. ठीक है चलो now let's take a look at what are we going to cover today, what important news we're going to cover today. Firstly, we're going to talk about the India EU free trade agreement, because the newspaper was all over with different news articles related to the free trade agreement, right? Will India join Trump's BOP? What is this BOP? Board of Peace. We will try and understand कि ये Board of Peace है क्या? What is this Board of Peace? What was the reason for establishing this Board of Peace? And is India planning to join this or not? Then India's energy sector offers a $500 billion opportunity. So we are going to talk about this energy sector, what it is. RBI and ESMA pact. So ESMA is the regulator, financial regulator of European Union, ठीक है, of Europe. This is the financial regulator. जैसे we have RBI in our country, we have ESMA, the financial regulator in EU. And now both of them, uh, our central bank and the financial regulator of European Union, they have signed a pact. What is that? That we're going to understand. Then we have a few fact-based news and we'll cover a few MCQs at the end. Fine. Let's start off with the first news article over here. You can see here so many articles related to the European Union over here, the pact that India and EU have recently signed, right? This all these articles we could see in the newspaper. Good morning, Atithi. How are you? So we have this India EU free trade agreement, which is also known as the mother of all deals. And why is it known as the mother of all deals? Because a lot of population is covered over here, है ना? It unites the world's second and the fourth largest economies. So second largest economy and the fourth largest economy, they have been united to create a market for covering over 2 billion people, and that is why it is called the mother of all deals. ठीक है? So this was the 16th India EU summit. During this summit, the we had been discussing about all of these things here. Good morning, Vaibhav. ठीक है? What was the timeline of the deal? You can see here in 2007 they had started talking about it. है ना. 2022 they had discussions, and finally you can see here after so many years in 2026 finally this we have started implementing this India EU free trade agreement. Okay, so negotiations started in 2007, they were relaunched in 2022 and finally concluded in 2026, and we are going to implement in this particular, in this financial year this is going to be implemented. Fine. If I talk about the economic impact and the trade highlights of this particular important free trade agreement, so 25% of global GDP ka contribution is done by EU and India together, and that is why there's another reason क्यों हम इसे कहते हैं mother of all deals, right? Fine. Good morning, Winnie, Miriam. ठीक है. Secondly, there's going to be a zero duty structure on $33 billion of exports, over 99% of Indian exports. 99% जो हमारे exports जाते हैं to EU, 99% of these exports gain preferential entry, यानी कि इस पे tariffs हो जाएंगे reduce. Especially our textiles, leather, gem sector is going to boost a lot. ठीक है. 144 service sub sectors have been opened. India gains vast access to EU IT education, professional services also. So ये कुछ benefits हैं of the EU India free trade agreement. ठीक है. India might cut tariffs on EU cars. जो EU cars हैं उसके ऊपर around 40% will be cut. 110% से 40%, एंड उसके बाद ग्रेजुअली इमीडिएट इफेक्ट से तो 110% से it is going to be reduced to 40%, and then धीरे धीरे करके gradually we will further reduce it. ठीक है. And EU is also going to remove duties on nearly 98 to 99% of Indian goods, right? ये जो फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट है, इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू लोअर प्राइसेस ऑफ प्रीमियम फूड इंग्रेडिएंट्स, डेयरी इनपुट्स, वाइन्स, चीजेस. ये देखो इन योर स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, एमसीक्यूज एंड ऑल, यू कैन गेट क्वेश्चंस लाइक दिस. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू रीड बिटवीन द लाइंस. ठीक है. यू नीड टू नो द डिटेल्स ऑफ द अग्रीमेंट, बिकॉज they can ask you a question in the examination that which of the following are not correct regarding the free trade agreement between India and EU, or which of the following are correct regarding the India EU free trade agreement. So such kind of questions can be asked in the examination. That is why I'm emphasizing over here that you need to know, you need to read between the lines. ठीक है. Improve access for Indian pharmaceuticals and generics. तो इंडिया की जो pharmaceutical, India is a pharmaceutical hub for generic drugs. Two types के drugs होते हैं. One is your generic drugs and the other is your patented drugs. Can anybody tell me the difference between the two? क्या फर्क है generic drugs में और patented drugs में? What is the difference? Quickly write down in the comment section and tell me क्या है फर्क इन दोनों में. So India is a hub for generic industries. We'll come to that also, Aditi. We'll come to that also. ठीक है. एक बार हम benefits देख लेते हैं, then we'll move further. Open Indian market to European automakers. तो automakers के लिए open market है ना. India EU security and defense partnership. These are the parallel agreements that we're going to sign. India EU security and defense partnership. Mobility pact for students, professionals also. है ना. Because we know that US had tightened the visa. I hope you know about the H1B visa fees that was increased a lot है ना. So US visa tightening we are seeing, so we might have a mobility pact for the students as well. We have sensitive sectors like agriculture, dairy, industrial goods. They are going to be remained protected. Fine. So tell me, all of you, what is the difference between generic drugs and patented drugs? You should know about that. Okay. So 2007 May the negotiations had started, but they did not move further because of disputes related to market access, labor and environmental standards, data protection, IPR issues related to that. And talks have been revised because now the focus is on geopolitical fragmentation, because we are focusing on diversification. See, what has happened is that because of US Trump tariffs and all, what has India done is India has diversified a lot. हमने क्या किया as a solution to these tariffs which have been put up on India, हमने focus किया diversification पे, है ना. We are doing trade deals with different countries, and that is why India EU FTA is a very important framework over here. China plus one strategy, because we want to, not only depend on China, also we want to focus on a China plus one strategy. Plus, after COVID and Ukraine war, supply chain diversification is a must here. ठीक है? And EU क्या है? India का largest trading partner है in goods, largest source of FDI. You need to know such kind of statements, because you can get a descriptive answer question also in interview type पे भी you can get a question. तो उसमें you need to know that India's largest source of FDI is EU. India's largest trading partner in goods is EU. है ना? India is EU's ninth largest trading partner, fastest growing large market we have over here. ठीक है? So you need to know what you're going to do in your homework. अच्छा एक बार I don't think you guys know the difference between generic drugs and your patented drugs. देखो, when I talk about generic drugs now, anybody can make these drugs, anybody can manufacture. The formula is available with the local manufacturers, local producers as well. If I talk about patented drugs specialized or specific drugs रहते हैं which can only be made by one particular manufacturer, जिसको वो पेटेंट मिला है, जिसके पास वो आईपीआर है, इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट प्रोटेक्शन है जिसके पास, वो ही उस ड्रग को मैन्युफैक्चर करता है. द पेटेंटेड ड्रग्स आर फॉर अ टाइम फ्रेम से 10 to 20 years तक you have that license to produce that particular drug, and later on the formula is made available to everyone, and then everyone can produce that drug. ठीक है? पेटेंट ड्रग्स के केस में मैन्युफैक्चरर्स के पास एक्सक्लूसिव राइट होता है ओवर द फॉर्मूला ऑफ द ड्रग फॉर सर्टेन इयर्स इन ऑर्डर टू गेन प्रॉफिट ड्यू टू इन्वेस्टमेंट इन टेक्नोलॉजी एंड रिसर्च. एग्जैक्टली. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन यू इन्वेस्ट टू ब्रिंग इन अ न्यू ड्रग, है ना, कोई भी आपने नया ड्रग बनाया है, you have invested, you have put in a lot of R&D, you've put in a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. So to protect the innovations done by such kind of individuals, such kind of people, such kind of companies, the government protects them, because this becomes intellectual property. This becomes what? This becomes intellectual property of the person, and इसीलिए of the company of the person, and इसीलिए उसको protect करने के लिए the government provides them kind of a license, kind of a patent. ठीक है? Fine. तो ये है कुछ important things. Now what is your homework is, you are going to see the types of regional economic integration. Types of regional economic integration, जैसे कि we have your preferential trade agreement, we have free trade agreement, we have CEPA, we have CECA, we have custom union, we have common market, है ना, we have economic union, है ना. So these are the types of regional economic integration which you should be knowing. ठीक है? फाइन. अब यहाँ पे there are some key concepts written. Free trade agreement, I hope you understood. इसमें क्या होता है? Tariffs and all are reduced on maximum commodities. ठीक है? This is allowed under which article of WTO? Such kind of basic concepts should be clear. Article 24. Article 24 के अंदर it has been written that free trade agreements are allowed, and it is an important factor for enhancing the regional economic integration. यहाँ पे एक रूल्स ऑफ ओरिजिन वाला वर्ड होता है. व्हाट इज रूल्स ऑफ ओरिजिन? अब क्या होता है ना, these things are also discussed upon over here कि रूल्स ऑफ ओरिजिन क्या होता है. अब जैसे मान लीजिए वी हैव अ फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट विद ईयू, है ना, हमारे पास ईयू के साथ हो गया फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट, बट वी डू नॉट हैव एनी प्रेफरेंशियल ट्रीटमेंट विद चाइना. वी डोंट हैव एनी प्रेफरेंशियल. दिस जस्ट अ हाइपोथेटिकल एग्जांपल. ठीक है? हाइपोथेटिकल एग्जांपल है. हमारे पास कोई अग्रीमेंट नहीं है, फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट नहीं है चाइना के साथ, हमने चाइना के साथ कोई टैरिफ अग्रीमेंट नहीं किया, पर चाइना बहुत चालाक निकलती है. व्हाट डज इट डू? इट सेल्स प्रोडक्ट्स टू ईयू, और फिर उसे इंडिया में लेकर आते हैं. यानी कि दे आर नॉट डायरेक्टली सेलिंग देयर गुड्स टू इंडिया, बट दे आर डाइवर्टिंग इट वाया ईयू, है ना. इस केस में रूल्स ऑफ ओरिजिन मैटर करते हैं. दैट whenever products are being sold from one country to the other, we check the rules of origin. So that is why whenever we are doing a free trade agreement with any country, rules of origin becomes a very important factor here. So rules of origin have also been established under this free trade agreement. ठीक है? ताकि डाइवर्ट ना कर सके कोई भी कंट्री. ठीक है? और स्पेशली ये ना हम चाइना के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ज्यादा देखते हैं. ठीक है? फाइन. ओके. अब यहाँ पे मोबिलिटी प्रोविजंस, अब यहाँ पे इजी प्रोविजंस है फॉर स्टूडेंट्स, रिसर्चर्स, स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल्स, तो ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर रहेगा गिवन जो H1B वीज़ा जो फीस है वो बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ा दी गई है बाय ट्रम्प। कुछ सेंसिटिव सेक्टर्स हैं इंडिया प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है, जैसे अपने डेयरी, एग्रीकल्चर, एमएसएमई, इंटेंसिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, सबको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है, इन पे हम नहीं फोकस कर रहे हैं। एंड मार्केट साइज, ये डेटा यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, यहाँ पे अलग से आई रिटन द डेटा सो दैट यू कैन लर्न एंड यू कैन रिमेंबर डेटा। कंबाइंड मार्केट 2 बिलियन पीपल, है ना। टैरिफ लिबरलाइजेशन की अगर हम बात करें, अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 98 to 99% टैरिफ लाइंस लिबरलाइज्ड फॉर इंडिया। इंडिया अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 90 to 96 टैरिफ लाइंस फॉर ईयू। ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर में कम हो गया 110 to 40। फूड एंड डेयरी में चीपर इंपोर्ट्स रहेंगे। फार्मास्यूटिकल जो है उसमें अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 10 to 11% टू नियर जीरो जो है टैरिफ्स को कम कर दिया गया। बायलेटरल ट्रेड अराउंड 135 to 140 बिलियन डॉलर्स तक की हम देख सकते हैं। And the target is that you want to cross $200 billion of bilateral trade over here. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे अतिथि ने एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि ठीक है, वी हैव साइंड अ फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट विद ईयू, इंडिया और ईयू का जो फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट है दैट हैज बीन साइंड, राइट। सो व्हाट आर द नेगेटिव्स, नेगेटिव्स क्या रह सकते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दिस साइंड अग्रीमेंट? बिकॉज व्हाट वी आर सीइंग इज ओनली द बेनिफिट्स, बट ऑब्वियसली देयर मस्ट बी सम डाउनसाइड्स आल्सो। कोई डाउनसाइड भी तो होगा, अगर किसी के पॉजिटिव्स हैं उसके नेगेटिव्स भी रहेंगे। तो देखो, व्हाट हैपेंस इन अ फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट इज कि टैरिफ्स तो हो जाते हैं कम, लेकिन सबसे पहली प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है दैट आई हैड डिस्कस्ड विद यू, रूल्स ऑफ ओरिजिन वाले से रिलेटेड जो इशू है वो हो सकता है दैट थर्ड पार्टी, थर्ड पार्टीज, they can divert they can divert the products of their country into India। तो वाया वाया करके रूल्स ऑफ ओरिजिन वाले क्लॉज को हटा हुटू के कुछ घपला वपला करके हो सकता है कि इस तरह से डंप हो सके गुड्स, यू नो द गुड्स कैन बी डम्प्ड इनसाइड ऑफ आवर कंट्री बिकॉज ऑफ दिस थिंग कि थर्ड पार्टीज दे कैन डाइवर्ट the material, they can divert the products to India। तो एक तो ये इशू हो गया। दूसरा इशू ये हो गया कि अगर टैरिफ्स कम हो जाएंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल वी हैव रिड्यूस द टैरिफ्स ऑन EU प्रोडक्ट्स, तो ये एक डायरेक्ट थ्रेट हो सकता है। दिस कैन बी अ डायरेक्ट थ्रेट टू द डोमेस्टिक मैन्युफैक्चरर्स। तो जो हमारी डोमेस्टिक मार्केट है उनके ऊपर एक थ्रेट आ सकता है दैट इट कैन वाइप आउट द डोमेस्टिक मैन्युफैक्चरर्स अगर वो compete ना कर पाए EU प्रोडक्ट से। सो दैट इज अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्टर, है ना। ठीक है, फाइन। तीसरी चीज ये है कि यहाँ पे वी हैव इनहांस द मोबिलिटी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स एंड ऑल, है ना। हमने ये सब चीजें काफी ज्यादा हमने अलाउ कर दिया है। नाउ दिस कैन हैव a domino kind of effect, a negative domino kind of effect, wherein US might do something related to this. US might see a negative impacts related to this because you never know about the wrath of US as of now. You don't know about Trump. So abhi we have signed, amid the tensions with Trump, we have signed an EU India FTA, which might, so US might create a problematic thing under this thing। तो ये कुछ डाउनसाइड्स रह सकते हैं डिस्पाइट द बेनिफिट्स दैट वी आर सीइंग, है ना। वी आर सीइंग चीपर इंपोर्ट्स, फार्मा सेक्टर मोबिलिटी, ट्रेड वैल्यू, वी आर गोइंग टू सी दैट इट इज गोइंग टू एनहांस, बट ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर गोइंग टू बी डाउनसाइड्स आल्सो लाइक व्हाट आई हैव डिस्कस्ड विद यू ओवर हियर। ठीक है, ये तो कुछ दो तीन नेगेटिव्स हो सकते हैं। यू गाइस कैन आल्सो थिंक ऑफ सम मोर नेगेटिव पॉइंट्स कि क्या हो सकते हैं ड्यू टू दिस इंडिया EU फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट न्यूज इज रिलेटेड टू द बोर्ड ऑफ पीस। व्हाट इज दिस बोर्ड ऑफ पीस? अब देखो, ये बोर्ड ऑफ पीस बना भी कौन रहा है? ट्रम्प जी, है ना। तो देख लो, ट्रम्प ने बनाया है बोर्ड ऑफ पीस, है ना। गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग, राइट। तो यहाँ पे बोर्ड ऑफ पीस क्यों बना था? फॉर रीबिल्डिंग, फॉर रीबिल्डिंग गाजा। ठीक है, वी नो दैट इजराइल and Palestine, there's a long standing issue, historical issue है between Israel and Palestine, है ना, बहुत टाइम से चल रहा है। and recently also there was a lot of standoff between the two areas। तो वहां पे गाजा was in news, गाजा के ऊपर जो गाजा स्ट्रिप है इन दैट एरिया, यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा इशू था। and a lot of havoc was created over here. And a lot of issue was created over here. So to rebuild Gaza, a board of peace was established by Trump. That is what exactly Trump said initially. Okay, fine. So what is this news? So BOP was part of Trump's vision for post-war Gaza. Ki once the war is reduced, once the war is reduced, I'm coming back. I'm coming back over here, है ना? ठीक है. Okay, Sureka. Did you miss this board of peace? Well, I'm just telling you that, Trump has established a board of peace for what? Because there was this long standing dispute between Israel and Palestine. है ना? And Gaza Strip, which is a part of that area, a lot of havoc was created in this particular area. Divine Soul of Gods, what is your name first of all? An economic survey क्यों नहीं cover किया? Because Payal ma'am has covered the highlights of the economic survey. We'll come up with detailed sessions and I'll be covering budget in detail. Like काफी ज़्यादा detail में we're going to cover budget. Related to economic survey, if you guys want that even I should cover, then I will maybe think about it. I can discuss and then I'll let you know. Alright? चलिए तो I was talking about this board of peace. So this Trump had made established this board of peace to rebuild Gaza after the warlike situation. So for post-war Gaza, Trump had created this board of peace. है ना? Now initial peace plan was there for the Middle East. It was made public in September only. Very recently this was made public. And initially it was known as New International Transitional Body. What was the name initially? New International Transitional Body. And uske baad now the name is Board of Peace. ठीक है? So this is now Board of Peace. Now in November, UNSC formally backed this Board of Peace. UN Security Council also backed this BOP Board of Peace, and now it has a international legitimacy till the year 2027. These details are very important. You have to understand this thing. So क्या हुआ? For rebuilding post-war Gaza, Trump said that we are building a Board of Peace. The initial name of Board of Peace was New International Transitional Body. ठीक है? Board of Peace. So it is giving international UNSC, UN Security Council is also given international legitimacy to this Board of Peace till which year? 2027. ठीक है? Trump sees a wider role for BOP over here. Trump is seeing a very wider role for Board of Peace over here. अब क्या है ना, when this charter was released, when the charter of Board of Peace was released, what was written in that charter? To secure enduring peace in areas affected or threatened by conflict. तो यहाँ पे Gaza word was not mentioned anywhere. Gaza word was not mentioned even once in that charter. That means the propaganda of this BOP Board of Peace is quite wider than the usual one. If you see this thing, you know, charter does not mention Gaza even once, and it has been written we are going to endure peace in areas affected or threatened by conflict. So we never know that what is going to be the negative downside of this. Okay? It calls for a more nimble and effective international peace building body. ठीक है, तो वो क्या कह रहे हैं कि हम एक पीस बिल्डिंग बॉडी बनाएं. तो भाई व्हाट इज यूनाइटेड नेशंस फॉर, है ना? व्हाट इज यूनाइटेड नेशंस फॉर देन? यूनाइटेड नेशंस इज द पीस मेकिंग बॉडी ओनली, बट ट्रम्प इज मेकिंग अ बोर्ड ऑफ पीस. So that is where the conflict is. So the worry is, or why is it controversial, is that BOP will supplant the UN. We have United Nations body which everybody ratifies, everybody agrees to it. वहाँ पे the process of forming the chairman and all, or process of resolving disputes and all is also very a little democratic as compared to the Board of Peace, because who is going to be the chairperson of Board of Peace? Trump is going to be the chairperson. है ना? He can nominate or remove members. He can exercise veto, name his successor. So see here how much power has Trump kept in himself for himself. What has he kept? He will be the BOP chairman. Trump ji will be the BOP chairman for promoting peace. अब खुद ही देख लो आप, है ना? He can nominate or remove members also, and the successor can also be chosen by him. है ना? He can also enact resolutions or other directives. I mean, now you see that US is not at all a neutral party. It will do anything to maintain its hegemony. So this is also seen as a threat in that case. US will, US wants to maintain its hegemony, and what if in future, Abhi, so it is very beautifully saying that we are a board of peace, but ultimately it is going to create some kind of controversy, it is going to create some kind of issue, and we know how Trump is and how his policies can be, and we never know who are going to be the future leaders, because US is under threat on many other factors. Okay, please do it on yourself for once, it will be really helpful, even though I followed rules but I wasn't able to understand. Okay, fine, I will talk through this, okay, and I will let you know, all right, for the economic survey. Others will serve as a three. Okay, so now this, and again a question is there, that the provision allows members who contribute $1 billion to remain as permanent members. So now you have to if you want to become a permanent member of Board of Peace, how much amount you will have to contribute? $1 billion. अब ये देख लो, this is also a condition here. कि if you want to stay a member of the Board of Peace, you will have to contribute $1 billion. है ना? जो हमारा यूएन में फ्री में काम हो रहा था, वो हम बोर्ड ऑफ पीस में पैसा देके वहां पे जबरदस्ती बैठे, एंड हु इज द चेयरमैन? ट्रम्प इज द चेयरमैन, है ना? हु इज द चेयरमैन? ट्रम्प. Others will serve a 3-year term only. So now this pay to play structure, that if you want to be a part of it, you will have to pay for it. It shifts the privilege in which sovereignty, sovereignty and integrity is there. That means for ensuring peace, we have to pay, which is a fundamental right, which is a basic right, which is a very important factor for international peace and all. Uske liye we have to pay. So this is also controversial over here. So let's see that which are the parties which have already signed that yes, they are going to be a part of BOP. So 20 founding members, including US, had attended a signing ceremony in Davos, Switzerland. So where was the sign? In Davos, Switzerland, on 22nd January. Let's see the members who have already joined. Qatar, Argentina, Turkey, Hungary, Indonesia, Bulgaria, Pakistan, Bahrain, UAE. These are the countries which have already, signed that they're going to be part of the Board of Peace. We have Israel, who said that it would join. France, Britain, Norway, Sweden, they have refused to join. France, Britain, Norway, Sweden, they have refused to join. And India has not yet made any kind of statement. India has not expressed anything over here. है ना? ठीक है? So BOP would look at all conflict regions. What is the problem? Why India is still thinking about it? Because Pakistan has already signed. है ना? Pakistan has already signed over here. That means Pakistan can bring in the Kashmir issue in the Board of Peace. है ना? Pakistan can bring in this Kashmir wala issue and in this Board of Peace. है ना? So that we can have global focus. So India turned down Trump's offer of mediation during his first term. So what happened was that in the first term of Trump had said ki let me mediate for you, let US mediate for this Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan. In that case India had refused. अच्छा उसके बाद when we were conducting this operation Sindhur na, in that case also Trump had made a statement that US, you know US had created a truce between India and Pakistan. असली में ऐसा नहीं हुआ था because India refused the claims कि नहीं, nothing of this sort had happened. There was no mediation of US. So in that case also India refused. So India does not really want any third party intervention at all. ठीक है? But experts are saying that rather than fighting from the outside, India should be on the same panel and then fight for its own country. So there are some experts who are saying this also. So will India say no? And if India says no, will it affect ties with US? It can definitely impact the ties with US because India is right now the only country as of now which has as high tariffs as 50%. And if India rejects this, obviously it is going to face the wrath of US again. ठीक है? Fine, so this is the problem over here. India, US are also on this verge of signing a trade deal, so that issue might be created. So I hope you've understood that what this board of peace was, what initially it was made. So Trump ne pehle bola that this is only for Gaza, what on Gaza. But in the charter, nowhere Gaza was written, and it was for all the conflict-ridden areas. That means the Kashmir issue could also go in that board of peace because Pakistan has already signed to be a founding member. ठीक है, I hope this news is clear to all of you. Next we have is that India's energy sector offers $500 billion opportunity. That is what Prime Minister said. So यहाँ पे energy sector is very important today, है ना, because we are transitioning towards you know non-fossil fuel based energy, है ना. So for this transitioning of moving from fossil fuel based energy to non fossil fuel based energy, we need investment, we need money. So we are presenting $500 billion worth of investment opportunity. These have been presented by Prime Minister. What are the focus areas? Oil and gas exploration कि हम investment करेंगे to explore oil and gas, liquefied natural gas, refining, pipelines, petrochemicals, shipping. And our aim is that we want to attract $100 billion of investment in oil and gas exploration by 2030. Such kind of statements are important. Learn and remember such kind of statements. ठीक है. Exploration by 2030. How much exploration oil and gas exploration, and how much investment? $100 billion investment. Directly in statement based kind of questions this can be asked. Andaman Nicobar Basin is emerging as a major hydrocarbon frontier. India targets meeting 15% of its energy demand through liquefied natural gas. Government is pushing energy independence amid the global geopolitical disruptions. So these are the major key highlights of the news. And currently, if I talk about India's scenario, India is the third largest crude oil importer. ये पता होना चाहिए. India is the third largest crude oil importer. Your homework is that you're going to check out the first and the second largest. So we import approximately 90% of the crude oil, and that is why securing our energy sector is very, very important. And that is why now we are combining supply diversification. We are diversifying our source of crude oil. We are focusing on domestic production, infrastructure expansion, energy transition. We have policy reforms like we have help hydrocarbon exploration and licensing policy, open acreage licensing policy. ठीक है. Fine. And these are the focus areas: liquefied natural gas and all. ठीक है. Next important article over here or the news is that impasse to end as ESMA RBI renew a pact. Now what this news is about? ESMA क्या है? ESMA is the financial और EU के जो financial markets हैं उसके regulator. So ESMA is the regulator of EU markets. And RBI, they have signed a new cooperation agreement. This is very, very important from your exam point of view, everyone. Please note this and make sure you remember this. Pact enables information exchange for recognition of Indian central counterparties. Okay? So, information exchange for recognition of Indian central counterparties. What are central counterparties? Anybody? What is the meaning of central counterparties? Are you aware of that? See, central counterparties, they are very, very important financial institutions. जो क्या करते हैं? They guarantee trade in derivatives, bonds, and other financial markets. So it is like an intermediary. It is like an intermediary which is guaranteeing the trade between two parties in case of derivatives, bonds, other financial markets. So यहाँ पे what was the scenario is that now information exchange is going to be possible between from Indian central counterparties to EU. Problem क्या थी? What was the problem? 3 साल से since 3 years there was a standoff. There was a standoff between India and EU. ठीक है. Over supervisory access to Indian clearing houses, EU did not show trust in the Indian clearing houses. तो पहले there was an MOU in 2017. वो lapse हो गई थी in 2022, and after that since 3 years we were on a standoff. We didn't know what to do. ESMA had withdrawn recognition of 6 Indian clearing houses. तो 2022 में विड्रॉन रिकॉग्निशन की ESMA डिड नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज क्लियरिंग हाउसेस. अब देखो क्लियरिंग हाउसेस इंडिया के नहीं यूज होंगे तो इट इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू सेटल ट्रेड्स बिटवीन इंडिया एंड US, है ना. We were not being recognized, and that is why it was a lot of, we were facing higher costs for European banks also, है ना. Then RBI retains primary regulatory and supervisory authority. So what is over here is that now ESMA, or they can also supervise. What is the solution over here? That they will also supervise the clearing houses or the central counterparties for their reference as well. Although the major authority is with primary regulatory authorities with RBI only, but ESMA को भी हमने ये दे दिया है कि ठीक है, for your convenience we are going to take up that. ठीक है. Fine. So under EU law, third country counter parties must be recognized by ESMA. तो जब तक वो ESMA से recognize नहीं होगी, settlement of trade will not be possible. ठीक है, इसीलिए अब हम ESMA भी recognize करेगी और अब settlement of trade and all is going to be in an easy manner. ठीक है. Fine. Expire हो गया था 2022 में. Now we have the new provisions over here. ठीक है. Fine. So 6 Indian CCPs had lost ESMA recognition. तो किस किस ने they had lost their ESMA recognition? Clearing Corporation of India, CCIL, NSE Clearing Limited, India International Clearing Corporation Limited, ये सब ने अपनी जो recognition है वो खो दी थी. That means through these clearing houses settlement of trade was not possible. ठीक है. Fine. So I hope that this particular news is clear to all of you. Apart from that, we have a few fact-based news. Like India set to notify unified maritime regulator. तो हमारे पास maritime sector के लिए we are going to have a maritime regulator by March here. So what is going to be the name of the regulator? Directorate General of Maritime Administration, DGMA. पहले कौन था? Directorate General of Shipping. So we are going to replace the Directorate General of Shipping and we are going to have a unified maritime regulator. पहले ज़्यादातर it was only focusing on shipping factor ना, and the ambit was not very wide. तो अब क्या है? Directorate General of Maritime Administration. So by end of or so by early March we are going to have this DGMA. This is going to be a single regulator. कौन सी चीज को it is going to regulate? Shipbuilding and ship repair, coastal shipping inland waterways, port operations, maritime manpower planning, investment approvals. ठीक है. DGMA is created under Merchant Shipping Act of 2025. So it is going to be created. This is a statutory backing. There is a statutory backing. What is this statutory backing? Merchant Shipping Act of 2025. Our vision is 2030. We have this Maritime Indian vision and Maritime Amrit Kal vision of 2047. So to focus on that, to further this thing, we have this DGMA who has been made to regulate this maritime sector. ठीक है, तो पहले we had Directorate General of Shipping. Now we have a single empowered regulator, DGMA. We have global leaders like China, South Korea, Japan. They also operate under strong unified maritime frameworks, and that is why we have also developed our own framework over here. I hope this is clear. फिर आ जाता है दिसंबर फैक्ट्री आउटपुट एट 2-year हाई. तो यहाँ पे वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्रोडक्शन हियर, प्रोडक्शन से रिलेटेड. दैट मीन्स दिस इज डायरेक्टली लिंक्ड टू द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. व्हाई आर वी रीडिंग दिस न्यूज? because we are focusing on boosting our manufacturing sector. अब देखो out of the 3 sectors of the economy ना, primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Primary माने agriculture sector, secondary sector is the manufacturing sector or the industrial sector, and tertiary sector is the services sector. If I talk about the services sector, the contribution to GDP is very high, but agriculture sector ka contribution to GDP is very low, but contribution to employment is very high. We have leapfrog from agriculture sector to services sector. We have left behind the manufacturing sector. That means we have seen premature deindustrialization. है ना, premature deindustrialization. But over a period of time we have realized that manufacturing sector is very important, especially in a globalized world where geopolitical risks are hampering the world economy, hampering the trade over here. इसीलिए हमारा फोकस क्या है? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. तो दैट इज व्हाई सच काइंड ऑफ न्यूज बिकम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इफ यू सी हियर, At December factory output, it is at a 2-year high. That means the production is quite good over here. Our index of industrial production grew 7.8% in December. Acha, this year na IIP ki there's going to be a revision. There's going to be a revision in the base year. ठीक है? Base year is going to be revised under this IIP. है ना? So please check out which is the new base year. If you guys know right now, please write down in the comment section what is going to be the new base year. Abhi it has not been yet notified completely, but what is going to be the updated and the new base year, if you guys know, please write down in the comment section. GDP ka base year is also going to be changed. What is it? Quickly tell me in the comment section if you guys know. So IIP grew 7.8% in December. 2 years से fastest pace है ये, and majorly manufacturing, mining, electricity. This was the growth area over here. November IIP growth was revised to 7.2%. December output grew more than twice the 3.7 record. So पिछले साल 3.7% it was recorded. This year 7.2%. ठीक है, हाँ 22-23 ही है, 22-23 ही है, right? Fine. Right, so manufacturing output rose 8.1% in December. Infrastructure goods grew 12.1%. Consumer durables 12.3%. Mining 6.8%. तो हमने सब में एक positive growth देखा है. Electricity generation 6.3% growth. And this data is released by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. ठीक है? Fine. So we saw an increase in production because of rationalization of GST rates. Majorly reason क्या देखा हमने? Because GST rates were rationalized in September only, है ना? And that is why we are focusing on this particular focus over here, that the production has increased a lot. ठीक है? Fine. So IIP is very important. It measures short-term changes in volume of production. So what is this index of industrial production? It measures the short-term changes in the value of production कि कितना production में change आया है. It covers 70 manufacturing, mining, electricity. ठीक है? Fine. And it is published monthly by MOSPI. You need to know the details what it is. Base year will soon be updated to mostly 22-23. Right, Atiti, है ना? And इसके अंदर यूज बेस्ड क्लासिफिकेशन भी होती है, दैट यू नो फॉर व्हाट आर यू यूजिंग द पर्टिकुलर गुड. फॉर एग्जांपल वी हैव कैपिटल गुड्स, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर गुड्स, कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स, कंज्यूमर नॉन ड्यूरेबल्स, इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स. ठीक है, तो ये सब चीजें हैं. And they've also mentioned this base effect, that this growth may be also high because of the base effect. जरूरी नहीं है कि सिर्फ और सिर्फ because that GST rates were rationalized, that is why IIP production increased. पिछले साल बहुत कम थी, around 3.7%. तो lower base होने की वजह से we have seen a higher growth, so this is also a possibility, right? Okay. फिर promise of preferential treatment on carbon, a plus for India. Here we are going to talk about carbon border adjustment mechanism. What is this carbon border adjustment mechanism of Europe? Anybody, any idea? CBAM, कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म 2026 से ये स्टार्ट होना था, स्पेशली इंडिया के ऊपर भी ये लागू होना था. एंड नाउ दैट वी हैव एन इंडिया EU फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट, सो ऑन द साइडलाइंस ऑफ इट वी हैव अ डिसीजन ऑन कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म आल्सो. कैन एनीबॉडी टेल मी व्हाट इज द CBAM? क्या है ये CBAM? व्हाट इज दिस कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म? Carbon tax on high carbon emission products, prevent carbon leakage. Very good, like that only. So what happens is, say in India and EU, they are trading in products. Say this product A is imported by EU from India, so India is exporting product A. इस प्रोडक्ट ए को बनाने में, टू मेक दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट, हाउ मच of CO2 emissions have been done, how much of CO2 emissions have been done. Based on that, EU is going to put a tax on these products, and only then it is going to import from India, है ना? So based on the carbon emissions that you are doing to produce a particular product, We are going to tax you based on that. That is your carbon border adjustment mechanism. This was what was decided by EU. But now we might see a technical dialogue between the two countries so that we can have a preferential treatment for the Indian firms under this CBAM. कि ठीक है, under the CBAM you want to apply the tax, but please provide us some preferential treatment because preferential treatment were provided to other countries also. ठीक है? So CBAM will impose carbon linked surcharge. I hope you understood that tax is going to be put. Sectors include steel, aluminium, cement, fertilizer. है ना? And if I talk about the exports to EU, steel and aluminium exports are a lot to EU. And starting Jan 2026, and it is going to, later in 2026, by, in the next half of 2026, this is going to also be applied. And that is why India is saying that, yeah, we should have preferential access. कार्बन क्रेडिट्स का कोशिश करो कि कार्बन क्रेडिट्स शुड बी रिकॉग्नाइज कि अच्छा ठीक है, मे बी वी आर प्रोड्यूसिंग कार्बन एमिशंस बट ऑन द अदर हैंड वी आर फ्रॉम समवेयर एल्स आल्सो वी आर रिड्यूसिंग द कार्बन एमिशंस, वी आर पुटिंग एफर्ट्स टू रिड्यूस कार्बन एमिशंस, तो वो थोड़ा सा देख लो. And please provide us flexibility under the most favored nation principle. So what is this most favored nation principle? This is the principle of WTO that जैसे भी preferential treatment if you're providing to one country, please provide it to the other countries as well. है ना? Until and unless it is part of your regional economic integration. है ना? Until and unless आप एक FTA का part है, उसके अलावा preferential treatment किसी को नहीं देना. अगर आप किसी एक को extend करें, you will have to extend it to everybody. है ना? Fine. तो basically, this under the CBAM, concessions were provided to US and NATO allies, and that is why now India is also saying कि यार we also want a preferential treatment here. India says that this is like a disguised trade barrier. है ना? Disguised trade barrier मतलब दिखने में trade barrier नहीं है, but असली में है trade barrier. है ना? है ना? तो असली में नहीं है, but वैसे है. ठीक है? Disguised है, मतलब छुपा हुआ एक trade barrier है, which is distorting trade, especially impacting the developing economies. ठीक है, so India वैसे भी, it is developing a carbon trading system inside of the country, so we should have a preferential treatment in this particular case. Apart from that, see, acha, tell me right now, before I discuss that news, 2026 में which country is the host? Which country is the host for the Artificial Intelligence Summit, AI Summit? Who is the host for AI Summit in 2026? Which country? I want you guys to tell me in the comment section. Good morning, Alok. Tax structure where EU developing nations के products पर tax लगाता है because they didn't follow the green methodology which local manufacturers did, or to provide level playing field to their market. Very good, Atithi. They already developed their economies now. When it comes to less developed economies, they are doing this pathetic. First, they should check their carbon footprints of whole countries together. हाँ, है ना? You're right, absolutely correct. हाँ, so yes, it is their protection policy. हाँ, protectionist policy ही है और तो क्या ही है ना? But of course, they have also created a lot of carbon footprint. अभी जो हालत है हमारे world की, that is because of this carbon footprint that these developed countries have put up, and this is disproportionately hurting the developing economies. That is why India is saying कि यार we should have preferential access. हाँ जी, absolutely correct everyone. India is the host for 2026 AI Summit, and now this was a small news कि 2027 में Switzerland is saying that it might host the next Global Artificial Intelligence Summit. ठीक है? So this year is going to be very important related to this Artificial Intelligence Summit, which is going to be held in 2026 in India. ठीक है? Fine. Fine. So these were the important articles from the newspaper. I hope you guys have understood. I will share the PDF with all of you on Telegram. You guys can join my Telegram handle. Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. Just type Mannat Educator. Okay? Now let's do a few MCQs over here. And Abhi, I hope that you guys have understood each and every news that we have covered. Okay? Fine. Chalo, first question over here. Which sectors fall under the EU's CBAM framework? Steel, aluminium, cement, fertilizers. 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 4 all are correct. Quickly give me the answer everyone. Which sectors fall under the EU's CBAM framework? हाँ जी, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन। I've got an answer as A, 1 and 2 only. Anybody else? A, Sureka says A. And there's a large difference in per capita income, so it's not feasible for developing nations to do so frequently. If they really wanted to curb carbon footprint, they should have given credit under. Exactly. So, climate finance is the issue over here that you are discussing, right, Atithi? Climate finance का ये issue है यहाँ पे, that if they really wanted the developing countries to reduce their carbon footprint, then they should also contribute through climate finance. They should also contribute by providing money to the developing countries, because their per capita income is not that high. Their GDP is, the rate of GDP is, growth rate of GDP is good, but GDP as compared to the developed countries is less. So Corona contribute, help them, है ना? Green climate fund to provide space for capital expenditure for better technology, exactly, है ना? The answer for first question is all are correct. Under the CBAM, we have steel, aluminium, cement, fertilizers. Majorly, we export steel and aluminium to EU, but all of these are covered. Cement and fertilizers are also covered over here. ठीक है? The Global AI Summit 2026 will be hosted by Dash, while the proposed host for 2027 is Dash. India, Switzerland, India, Norway, India, Australia, India, Denmark. What is the answer? Second question. है ना? So 2026 will be hosted by India. Proposed 2027 Switzerland. है ना? ठीक है? Why is IIP important for policymakers? It measures long-term inflation, tracks balance of payments, provides early signals of economic momentum, reflects fiscal deficit trends. What is the answer? हाँ जी, what is the answer? हाँ, countries don't apply it obviously. है ना? ये issue तो है ही है. Third question. Why is IIP important? Because it provides us short term production related data, है ना? So it provides us early signals of economic momentum. Next question. India aims to reach dash million GT ship owning capacity by uh, dash million gigatons ship owning capacity by 2047. Data based question. 1000 million GT, 100 million GT, 500 or 800 million GT. Fourth question. What is the aim? What is our aim? Bhakti saying 500. Sureka is saying B, 100 million GT. Anybody else? Souvik, others, Prashasti, all of you. The correct answer is 100 million GT. ठीक है? Okay, fine. Next question. Question number 5. Assertion region. The renewed ESMA RBI pact reduces compliance costs for European banks. Recognition of Indian CCPs allows EU banks to clear trades without higher capital charges. Both are true. R explains A. Both are true. Does not explain A. A true, R false. A false, R true. What is the answer? The renewed ESMA RBI Pact reduces compliance costs for European banks because recognition of Indian CCPs allows EU banks to clear trades without higher capital charges. What is the answer for question number 5? Question number 5. A absolutely correct. बिल्कुल ठीक कहा. अभी recently this is the pact that has been signed. तो इससे compliance costs कम हो जाएंगी यूरोपियन बैंक्स के लिए, है ना? सेकेंडली जो इंडियन सीसीपीज हैं ये इनको recognition मिलेगी थ्रू द ESMA, द मार्केट रेगुलेटर इन EU, एंड कैपिटल चार्जेस भी कम हो जाएंगे बिकॉज बहुत ज़्यादा कॉस्ट हाई पड़ रही थी इनिशियली, राइट? Which of the following statements are correct regarding India EU FTA? EU will eliminate tariffs on nearly all Indian goods. India will fully open its dairy market to EU imports. Mobility of professionals is part of the agreement. One only, one and three only, two and three, or one, two, and three. Which is correct out of these? D, B, A. Anybody else? Nearly all dairy and agriculture farm. B. The correct answer is B. 1 and 3 only. तो 1 भी ठीक है, 3 भी ठीक है. Fully open dairy नहीं, बल्कि dairy sector is going to be protected. Dairy sector is going to be protected. ठीक है? Fine. India aims to attract $100 billion investment in oil and gas exploration by which year? 2030, 2028, 2027, or 2047? $100 billion investment is till which year? By the year 2030. Absolutely correct. है ना? So that is all from my side, everyone. Thank you so much for being put throughout the session. I hope that you guys have understood whatever news articles we have done in today's session. I hope you guys have understood. Share the video with your friends and all also, है ना? Like, share करो, comment करो, है ना? So that more and more people can view such kind of sessions which are really beneficial for people preparing for the examination. Please let me know whether you've understood everything in the comment section. You guys can connect with me on Telegram as well. है ना? Mannat Educator. Economics with Mannat is the name of the group. So you can connect with me over there as well. ठीक है? Fine. And okay, thank you everyone. Sureka, Tithi, Bhakti, Divine Soul of Gods. What is your name? अब तो नाम भी बता दो. है ना? So download this PDF. I will share the PDF with you on Telegram also. Try to revise it, solve the MCQs, है ना? Quickly go through them. क्या है ना? And your EU and India free trade agreement is very important. So please cover that also very holistically. ठीक है? Fine. So that is all from my side. Thank you. Have a good day and see you all in my next one. Fine.